All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today in this lesson, we're going to look at advertisement again, but specifically, we're going to look at two different things. And hopefully, with this, um, you will be able to see ads differently. And like I told the people in class, I really want to challenge you to listen to what I say and look through things in society and where you live and where you go from home to school and school to home and everywhere in between and look at ads. Hopefully, you look at ads differently. Okay. So here's your warm up picture. Um, the question asks you, what do you think this artist is trying to say about Amazon and small businesses? Okay. So there it is. Break it down. Okay. Pause the video. Okay. Because we're moving on in three, two, one. All right. So advertising companies try to get four things done. Okay. First is they try to attract attention. Second thing, obtain emotional impact. Third, create color associations. And fourth, impactful background colors. Try to get that to really resonate. Okay, so what's the first thing? Attract attention. What do you mean? Well, they first try to grab your attention, and usually what they do is they typically use bright colors and then darker colors to grab your attention. Then they try to obtain emotional impact. Now what does that mean? Well, if you look at, they try to use colors to make you feel something. Okay. So like green and blue typically bring calmness, coolness. People tend to think like a meadow, a grassy field with the blue background sky and things like that. So people feel calm, cool, relaxed. Whereas bright colors like yellow and red bring out excitement and, just, as some students said in class, raises the anxiety. Sure. Yeah, possibly. You know, the other one is create color associations. Companies want you to see a certain set of colors and think automatically, oh, our business. You know, so like I told some kids in class, um, if you're in a car and you close your eyes and all of a sudden you open it up and you see really quickly red and yellow, what business do you think it could have been? And chances are you probably said McDonald's. And yeah, you more likely would be right. So those colors are connected with the business or company, and that's what they want. Okay. The last one is impactful background colors. Now, thing is when a ad company creates a logo and things like that, they choose the colors very carefully. They don't want the background color to clash with the main color, or they don't want it to be too similar so where your eyes like, is that two different colors or is that the same thing? They don't want that. Okay. That's why typically backgrounds are white, beige, things like that. Okay. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, Martinez, what are you talking about colors for? Because the thing is, guys, believe it or not, in psychology, color is the first thing your eyes see. When you see something, an ad or whatever, something that goes through you or through right past your face, your eyes, first thing to see is the color. What color was that? And then shape and stuff like that. But color is the number one thing your eye can process. What was its color? What shade was it? Things like that. So that's why we're talking about colors first off in advertisements. So what's the top two colors used typically? Blue and red, right? And the next common color is actually, believe it or not, black. Because a lot of companies use black as a background color to enhance the primary color, to make it really stand out. Even if it's an ugly color, A black background will make that color stand out. And black, again, is associated with things like elegance, mystery, power, you know. So, yeah, that's why they do it. Now, in class, I was talking to the students about how when I was in college, my debate and argumentative professor basically took us around the school and showed us certain things. And one of the things he showed us was like that vending machine you see in the middle, right? You see, hey, it's a Pepsi, you know, but look at the background. What color is the background? It's blue, right? A little, you see little hints of white and things like that, right? But what does it look like? And a lot of people in class said, looks like water. Yeah, it does, huh? Looks like water. So when you see blue water, what do you get? What kind of thing goes to your head? And a lot of some of the students in class were saying, well, the water is probably like cool or cold. Yeah, exactly. And look at the beads of water on the soda. So what your mind is basically telling you that soda's cold. Now, right now, you're probably watching this, eating something, drinking something, so you're not as enthralled with it. But if you were really thirsty, you've been wanting a drink or something like that, you might see that and go like, man, a cold Pepsi does sound good right about now. Or a cold soda, a cold drink. That's what they do. And that's why these vending machines are like that all around. So you can see it and be like, man, I want one. Okay. Now look at this menu for Denny's where it says $2, $4, $6, $8 up on top there. I said in class, which one looks more appealing? Which one like really draws you in more? And a lot of students said number 8, the $8 one, right? Look at that. 4 stacks of pancakes, 2 sausages, 2 bacons, 2 eggs, hash browns, orange juice, coffee. Man, that sounds good, huh? That sounds delicious. Now, why did people really look at that one? Well, like one student said, the other ones look smaller. Yeah, and look at the background colors too. For the $2, yellow, 4 is orange, 6 is red, and 8 is more of a um, like maroon type of color, right? So if you notice, the colors get a little like brighter. They come uh, more red, more intense. Because again, that's what they want for your eyes to just move, boom, 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 boom. Oh, right there, $8 one. You know, and if you look at the burgers on the bottom, look at the background color, red. What temperature do you associate with red? You would go with hot, right? So there you go, hot hamburger with fries and things like that. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? That's what they try to do, guys. They try to make your mind, even though you might not see it, your mind sees it, your eyes see it, and your mind's deciphering it like that looks good. And your mind's thinking hot food, fries, bam. Okay. So again, colors play a major role. They're not these logos and stuff like that for companies. They're not just thrown together. There's a purpose to it. Okay. So the use of color plays a major role in advertising to make a person feel something about a company or product. Now, we've talked already in the last class, actually a week ago, about the 4 segmentations: the demographic, psychographic, behavioral, and geographic. And color plays a major role in those things as well. So think about it like this: when you were a kid, did you ever see things really in black and white, like your toys and games and things like that? Typically, no, huh? They're very colorful and vibrant and things like that because specific colors attract at different ages. You know, when you get older, the bright colors really don't seem like that enthralled. It's like, that's for kids, you know. Now, even holidays, even the colors used for holidays are associated with holidays. They play a role. So, like Christmas, red and green, right? And if you look at the colors, they're supposed to represent like strength, love, energy, healing, you know, quality. And isn't that what Christmas is about? Being with family, people we care about, and getting over your griefs and your pettiness and things like that, and just being there for one another. Isn't that what Christmas is about? Right. Now look at something like Thanksgiving. What colors do you associate with Thanksgiving? Orange, yellow, brown, right? So sociability, trustworthy, dependable, happiness, warmth. Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing with Thanksgiving? Being with people you care about, whether it's family, friends, or both. Being there for one another, talking, having a good time, enjoying each other's company. So again, colors play a role, guys. It's not just thrown together. It's not just a mistake that's like, hey, here's this and this and this. No, each color plays a role. Now, here's the thing though, not every color is associated the same around the world. In some places like the Middle East, you really don't see the color pink all too much. Yes, they acknowledge pink is a color, it's in flowers and things like that, but are they going to be wearing pink shirts and some of that? Are guys going to be wearing that? No, no, they're not. You know, it's just no. It's not in their culture. It's not in uh, their way of life. You know, and also like the color red. Some people see red, think of love, compassion, things like that. Whereas some other people might see red as like blood and war and things like that. Aggression. So even that differs. So different cultures have different meanings for different colors. Okay. So it's not all the same all the way around, straight across. Different people see different colors different ways. Now, the other thing advertisements try to do is persuade you using certain things like ethos, pathos, or logos, or a combination. Okay. Now, some of you guys have had English class with like Mr. Brazine and some of that. So you probably have already learned about this. So, but still, just as a refresher, let's go over this. Ethos. That's basically credibility and trust. So a person's personal brand, like Jordan shoes, or um, the Curry shoes and Kevin Durant type of shoes, stuff like that. LeBron's. And then there's like confidence in delivery. You know, is this really going to work and things like that. And then you got credible sources, people who vouch for a product, and you're like, okay, yeah, this person probably does use this, and this person is pretty trustworthy, very honest, and things like that. So they probably do use it, So there's a credibility to it. Pathos is emotions, values, things like that. So they tend to have like stories behind them, background stories, you know. Like I said in class some years ago, there was a commercial with this guy named Christopher Reeves, who was an actor. He was like the first Superman on the movies. Now, he broke his neck falling off a horse, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. In one commercial, they showed him standing up. And I remember just freaking out like, oh my God, Christopher Reeves is standing up. And I remember my mom was getting like emotional. She's like starting to cry, like, oh my God, he's actually standing up. But it was a commercial. It was a commercial. And a lot of people were just like, did you see that? Oh my God, he was standing up and things like that. Because people loved Christopher Reeves. He was Superman. Here is this man who was paralyzed. All of a sudden, he's standing up in this commercial. So that gave people emotion and, lifted people's hearts up. Like, is this possible? Can he really walk now? See, that would be a great example for pathos. Okay. And logos, logical, proof, reason. So they use a lot more logic and stats and studies, and metaphors. They use stats like 9 out of 10 doctors prefer this, 9 out of 10 mothers approve this, um, 86% of uh, clinical tests prove that la 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 works. Okay, so they use a lot of stats and studies to prove their point. Okay, so hopefully you took good notes on this because you're going to need it for the next slide, which is, excuse me, right here. So on your paper, you'll see number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? What you're going to do is look at these ads. So number 1, you see a thing of Shaq with the icy hot patch. You see number 2, the dog, the Purina. Number 3, you see that dog right there up on top for the local shelters. And number 4 is Rihanna for CoverGirl. So what you're going to do is tell me, is number 1 ethos, pathos, logos, or is it a combination? Now, if it's a combination, you got to tell me of which ones. So if you say it's ethos and logos, okay, then put that down. Okay. Same thing with number 2, 3, 4. Okay. Is it ethos, pathos, logos, or is it a combination? And be sure to put down, if it's a combination, which 2 is it? Okay. So pause the video, look at your notes to help you, and tell me which one's which. Okay. Now, for your question, what I want you to do is pick 3 of your favorite stores. Okay. Now, I know some students are like, well, I'll only shop online. Okay. Well, then your online store, they have a logo. What's the colors of the logos? Okay. So what you would do is basically on the bottom, like right here, Radio Shack. The colors are, as you can see from here, red, black, and white. Because the white is the background. So that counts as a color, okay? So be sure you name the background color. Is it white, black, beige, yellow, green? I mean, whatever. Okay. So again, name of the store and the colors that are on the logo. Okay. So once you do that, you get your 3 stores. Again, it could be at a regular store like at the mall, or it could be online. It could be a grocery store. I don't care as long as it's one of 3 of your favorite stores. Okay, you need to write down 3. Okay, so get them down. Excuse me. But once you get those down, you're done with this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay. So with that being said, you guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.